Hello, hello. We're back with another week of Launch Coach Football. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Chelsea.
and it's finally fall. The summer is over, the autumn is here, and it's still 80 degrees outside, which is false advertising.
It's all right. We live in the South. I've honestly come to expect it.
Yeah, like this is not as bad as I have family in Texas and Mississippi, so I know they're getting like still 90-degree days. But
That sounds terrible.
you know what? I'm a northerner. I'm a northerner. I
Me
want
too.
yeah, we want cold weather. We want
We're in defense. We are in from different parts of the North, though. So I feel like the expectations would probably be mostly the same, but maybe not. I mean, you're New England, so you get more snow than I do, but the Midwest gets cold, cold. Like the cold snaps that we would get when I lived there in the winter, it'd be like negative 20 degrees. I'm like, why is it so cold out?
I need to get out of here.
I know.
No,
I'm like,
but
could someone 2 hour delay school, please, so I can get back in bed?
Uh, oh, those used to be good memories. Like the school I went to was called Zion Lutheran, and the school would go ABC order. So Zion and ABC order did not
Oh,
compute.
dude.
It'd be like Adams something like, okay, I can wait like 10 minutes and come back later.
Did you watch the school delays and closings on the bottom of your local news on the ticker like I did? Like at the NFL draft, they would go through the ticker and you'd anxiously await your school to see if it popped up.
Like I said, like Zion Lutheran, I will watch the ticker and the worst is when you would miss it and they're like, ah, dang, I got to wait again. But
Yeah, kids nowadays don't get that luxury of sitting in front of their TV anxiously awaiting their school to pop up on the ticker. That's like peak nostalgia for me now.
oh, that's
Now they
this.
just get texts. How lame.
They don't get text. They get remote school now.
Yeah, they don't even get school off. Hey, I'm glad we graduated when we did because at least we got real snow days.
We're done. We're not going back. And speaking of done and not going back, week four is in the books.
Week
Technically,
3.
week three is in the books. Week four has not happened yet. And we have so much to talk about because I don't think this was as crazy as previous weeks, minus the every other field goal game blocked. But this was still a crazy week.
Yeah. No, I guess it's mostly over. We're recording this on Monday, so we still have the Lions Ravens game tonight, which should be arguably the best game of the week. Maybe we'll recap that a little bit on Thursday when we drop our recap episode. But let's start out with a seemingly dark horse MVP candidate, Daniel.
I know there's always been debates in terms of who's the five best quarterbacks. Like going to the season, I think universally the five best were Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, and people. Those were the accepted four, and then people debated who was number five, who was in this. I think at this point we can actually say that number five spot goes to Baker Mayfield, and
You think?
not only does that number five spot go to Baker Mayfield, we have to seriously start having conversation about Baker Mayfield MVP candidate. His Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as of right now, they are undefeated. They're still the heavy favorite to win the NFC South. They're probably going to be the heavy favorite because the South isn't that special of a division. They're probably going to be the heavy favorite to be a number one seed. And every single game he has had a fourth quarter comeback, a comeback drive. It's been insane. I love the fact I like Baker. I respect Baker. I remember watching the Steelers get pounded in the playoffs by Cleveland, Baker in Cleveland. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a problem for so many years. And then
He just has aura. He's just easy to like.
he's just he gets it done. It's like sometimes it doesn't look good, but he gets it done.
He's easy to like unless you're a fan of another NFC South team. And then I'm sure you hate him.
Well, you know what? Carolina had him and got and made a bad decision, but I do
One of
think
many.
I do think at this point you can say Baker is probably the fifth best quarterback at least fifth, at least top five easily. And outside in terms of MVP candidates, who are the early season MVP favorites right now? It would probably be Indiana Jones, Josh, Josh,
Yeah.
Josh Allen. Baker's right up there. Like I don't is there ain't really much of an argument in not saying Baker isn't one of the best quarterbacks in the league? He's certainly easily to me the best in the NFC at this moment.
Yeah, and I mean the NFC South is probably, as of week 3 almost being over, probably going to be an easier race than I thought. I mean, in the grand scheme of all the divisions in football, we already knew this was one of the weakest divisions. I thought the Falcons were going to be more competitive. Maybe Penix just had a bad game, but Penix got shut out by the Panthers, who, through the first 2 weeks of the season, the Panthers have not looked that good. Bryce has been up, Bryce has been down. If Bryce stays up, I think that they can get a wild card, but I don't think they're better than the Bucks. And
Yeah.
yeah, the Saints, we don't even talk about them. But the Falcons are really surprising me. Either Penix just had a terrible game, or Penix still needs to develop, or Penix is not it, and they need to trade for Anthony Richardson.
You're trying to move off of
No,
AR.
I'm just kidding. I actually do like him, but it wouldn't shock me if they traded him.
That's fair. I think these games like this are going to happen for Pags. This is his first full season, so
Yeah.
I expect both stinkers and week one where he looked amazing, and
Yeah, up and down for sure.
where again Baker came back and won a victory for them. But it's just now one quarterback that I say is not having a really good season, and just like man, we thought last year was a sophomore slump, but this might go into his junior year. Is our boy in Houston, who we all had them. The Texans were in the South. It's not looking good right now.
No, it's really not. Bro, what is wrong with CJ Stroud? I mean, I know that he has a bad O line, right? I mean,
Yeah,
so that's probably his primary issue. I know he has no Tank Dell because, he broke his leg late last year. So he's probably not even going to come back this year
he
unless
has
they
no
make a deep run into the playoffs.
he has no Mixon. Mixon's still out.
Yeah, Mixon is out. He does have Chubb, but at this point, Chubb's probably more washed than not. Um, I mean, CJ Stroud was 25 of 38, which on the face is not bad. For 204 yards, one touchdown, one or two interceptions, two sacks, and an average of 5.4 passing yards. If you look at the stats in their entirety, it's really not anything to brag about. I mean,
No.
his first year, he was great. He lit the
Yeah,
league on fire. He was in the MVP conversation for a little bit, before Lamar emerged. But I think Lamar won it in 23.
yeah.
But last year was a rough go, and they still managed to win the division, if that tells you anything about how bad our division was last year. And this year, he's just started out just not good. And I'm honestly surprised. I mean, I think he has all of the tools, the knowledge to be good. I mean, this year he's 599 passing yards, two touchdowns, three picks. That's his stats for the year. That's pretty terrible. Especially for a guy who was in the MVP race for the first half of 2023, probably. So either he's just having a rough couple of games, or maybe he's just not as good as people thought. I like one of my favorite pastimes on Sundays, outside of church and, small group and things of that nature, in regards to football. My husband and I sit on the couch when the games end and we read all of the angry Reddit threads of
Oh
all of the
God.
teams
Oh,
that lose. And honestly, it's like my favorite pastime. And I
really?
was reading the Texans one last week, and all of them want D'Amico Ryans fired. All of them. I think their offensive coordinator is terrible, which I thought D'Amico, I mean, maybe I'm just out of it. I thought D'Amico Ryans was a good coach.
Yeah, that's might be a little bit of fans overreacting because
Yeah,
Houston's defense is always going to be top tier with him as a
they
head
have
coach.
talent on defense. It may be more of their offensive coordinator they actually have an issue with than actually D'Amico Ryans, because I think D'Amico Ryans is a good coach.
Yeah.
As a Colts fan, I think he's a good coach. But we'll see how this continues to progress. I mean, The so since the Colts are playing the AFC West, that means the Texans are playing them as well. Um, and that is a pretty competitive division as of right now. So we'll see how the season continues to go. But I'm definitely watching this headline because he just doesn't look the same. And I mean, he's never had an O line. Like in 2023, he
Yeah.
didn't have an O line. Last year, he didn't have one. So it's not like him not having one this year is a new development, which leads me to believe I'm not sure if it's only the O line that's giving him issues.
I can't imagine not having the best O line. Well, before he had to me more weapons. You still see splits of talent there for CJ, but yeah, he's regressed big time, and I'm not gonna say I'm worried, starting to get worried, but he has one more year left of his contract before he becomes they probably go re-up him. They always re-up with a big contract afterwards. But they might not want to turn this into like a Trevor Lawrence or Daniel Jones situation where you say, oh, he has potential, let's re-up, and then he falls and like he just doesn't get better.
And
So
the crazy thing about it is that the class of 2023 was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and all
man,
three of them look bad. Richardson the worst, Bryce probably the second worst,
um,
though when his ups are up, he actually looks really good. And CJ Stroud is probably the best of them, and he's only had one good year and he's stayed healthy. So, really not looking like a strong draft class for the
no,
quarterbacks from 2023.
no, this ain't 1983 for Marino, Kelly, and Elway. But one thing you could say about sophomore slums or junior year slums. It might be hitting New England a little hard with their of a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh's first win in Foxborough in, I believe, 17 years. So you would
If you guys
think
are listening, Daniel is holding his towel up triumphant.
I am wrapped it, my arm is wrapped
As
around
a
a towel.
proud Steelers fan, he's very happy and not happy.
Yeah, you would think I would be happy. Um, no, honestly, no, I'm not that happy. Okay, is they won the game 21-14. You would think, okay, that's good. They won 21-14. The defense forced 5 turnovers. Five. Why are we winning a game? Why are we, like I was there? Why are they winning a game by only a single score? With your defense, we have such a turnover ratio. I believe Rodgers threw one pick, and so it was a +4 turnover ratio. Um,
Yeah, he
I-
threw one pick. I'm looking at the stats.
I'm happy in terms of his personal accomplishment. He passed Brett Favre in terms of all-time passing and passing touchdowns, and Philip Rivers for passing yards.
Wow.
They got their win. TJ Watt looked amazing. The rookie D tackle looked in his limited play was getting after the quarterback and stopping the run. I but I'm sorry, I can't I don't think a one score victory when you have a +4 ratio with turnovers is that big of an accomplishment. And I think part of that also comes to the fact that I don't think New England, I know Chelsea, I think you had New England making the playoffs this year going forward as a wild card
Mm,
team.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you had them as a wild card team. I was shocked. I don't see New England as really Drake May. I'm not gonna say he regressed, but this wasn't the Drake May that you saw potential of last year.
It's like, how could one regress when one never progressed to begin with?
You saw Spud still. Like there's times you looked at Drake
Yeah,
May and
that's
said,
true.
like, oh, okay, this guy can have some talent, has some
I
talent.
did have the Patriots getting in. You're right.
Yeah. So yikes.
Yeah. Let's not
E-
talk about that. It's
Even
fine.
last week, like Miami easily could have won that game in week 2 if not for what a punt with a kickoff return. It was a punt return. It was a punt return, then a kickoff return. But Tua had the ball and just needed to get to a certain point for a touchdown or a field goal. Then they just couldn't do it. But I'm not that impressed by New England in this season so far. In Pittsburgh, while I'm happy that the defense actually started looking like the highest paid defense in football, I'm
I'm
still
sensing some angst there.
it's a lot of angst. Nothing but angst. I'm still worried in the fact that they seem to still have trouble scoring the football like they did. No, well, they had a lot easier time in week 1 against the Jets, but I'm seeing more of last year's Aaron Rodgers than I am Aaron Rodgers from week 1, and I don't want that.
I thought Aaron Rodgers is going to be an MVP candidate, Daniel, and he's going to take the Steelers to the Super Bowl. And it's week 3, so you said you'd have yourself convinced that the Steelers can make the Super Bowl, right? So you're obviously there now, right? Because that's what you said.
I never said MVP candidate. I said I said division
You
champs.
did say Super Bowl, though.
I did say that, and like the AFC is not that. We're gonna get that one, discuss that more later, but the AFC is still up in the air. It's still very
That's
open.
true. That's true.
I just need that defense to not be like the first 2 weeks and be more like this past week, but that's could just be because of Drake May and them.
Dude,
But
I'll tell you who lost their job in this Steelers game. Ramondre Stevenson with 2 lost fumbles. Bro is cooked.
man, if Belichick was still in New England, I'm pretty sure he would personally put him in an Uber at halftime.
And honestly, Drake May's stats really didn't look that bad outside of the interception. I mean, he was 28-37 for 268 yards, two touchdowns, and a
I,
pick.
I will
And he
say
had uh 40 rushing yards,
no.
and he lost a fumble. I guess he had two turnovers, but
I will say something about that pick though. They probably should take him out that game because that pick was it was in they were driving, they were at the goal line, and he got hit on he threw it away, he got hit, it was an incomplete pass. He slammed his head against the ground and literally was holding his head. I'm thinking, oh, oh no, he might be concussed or or something. He just gets up and the next two passes or one just got batted down and one just got picked. I'm like,
what?
okay,
Where's
okay.
the red hat guy? Isn't he
Yeah,
the CTE guy?
I said someone very much just dropped the ball in terms of make sure this guy doesn't have head trauma because he clearly looked like he was at least a little bit groggy right before halftime. But
Yeah.
you mentioned Ramondre just probably lost his job. Someone else who
If
probably
he
lost,
even had it to begin with. I mean, he may not have, but
well, someone else who also lost their job, in my opinion, is the Rams special team coach after probably the game of Sunday, but also a great comeback by Philly and two blocked field goals at the end is insane. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy game. I was very impressed with the Rams showing in that game.
really.
Um, they almost beat the Eagles in Philly. If they had made that field goal, they would have won. I mean, I honestly expected the Eagles to win by multiple scores, so I was honestly very impressed that the Rams just didn't get blown out, to be honest with you. Um, that blocked field goal at the end, dude, Rams fans are gonna be like having nightmares about that forever. And I mean, it's not even that Stafford looked that good. I mean, he was 19 of 33 for 196 yards, two touchdowns and an interception, which is not like lighting the world on fire necessarily. I was just impressed they competed. I mean, I don't think the Rams are a bad team. I think the Rams could win the NFC West if they play well, especially on offense. I think their defense is probably the stronger side of the ball, especially when Stafford came into the year. He had what? Some kind of was it a
The back.
hamstring
It was his
injury?
back.
Oh, back, yeah, which is just not great.
No.
Um, but no, I was impressed. I think that after this showing, you kind of have to move the Rams up a little bit in your power rankings for the NFC. Because if they make the playoffs and they almost beat the Eagles in the regular season, I mean that might not be a team you want to face. I mean, I watched Nakua catch four passes in a row on the game losing drive, but the game winning drive, I mean, they couldn't stop him. So, I mean, they have talent at running back, they have talent at tight end, they have talent at receiver. They have Matt Stafford, who's, serviceable at this point, and their defense is mega underrated. So I was impressed by the Rams.
I just can't get over having a two touchdown lead and you just not be able to close the deal. Like
And I mean,
I don't
yeah,
think
go
Rams
ahead.
fans are very much was like this was a good this was a good loss. This was
Yeah,
they're just like I can't believe we blew that game.
I'm looking at the box score. I mean, they only lost by a touchdown and they kicked four field goals and they only lost by a touchdown. So if the Rams can convert goals into touchdowns, they're going to win some games. They just need to work on the red zone offense. And they attempted six field goals, and Cardi missed two of them. So if they can like amp up their red zone offense, I mean, that might be a team you don't want to face later in the year or in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, I'll say this. You mentioned they may win the AFC West. The way what's going on with San Francisco, they might as well. It's
They just need to quit. It's call quits. Just go home.
somehow I don't
Go
know
sit on a beach.
how are you 3-0 and I just like it's just ridiculous. I don't know
Coaching.
who I don't know how Kyle Shan who did Kyle Shanahan cross in the world? Did he knock over a leprechaun? Does he have a house of black cats? Did he just keep breaking mirrors? Because now one of their best defensive player, Joey Bosa, is done for a season. Um, Blew out his knee. They won the game. They they won a big division game. Mac
Somehow.
Mac Jones, he got shaken up, but he stayed in there somehow. And Mac, you man,
You go,
man,
dude.
just it's just. they're 3-0, and it's like the Bengals last week when they were 2-0, and like, okay, but we lost Burrow. The Bengals are the opposite. They're 3-0, and they lost everyone except for their best player on offense in terms of McCaffrey. And I don't even know how he's healthy when everyone else
Me
getting hurt.
either. It's just a matter of time. Everyone else is getting hurt. It's just a matter of time.
Oh man, I feel so bad with San Francisco because again they have a weak schedule. That's why I picked them to win the division. I think my argument was that they got injured to all get out last year. It can't get worse than this year. We're not out of September.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. This seems to happen to
Oh
them every
man,
year. I have a friend from college who's a big Niners fan, and he posted about Bosa's injury on his Instagram story and was like, "I'm not even," and I was like, "I'm not either."
like was it the Malcolm the Miracle? Like I expect nothing, and yet I'm still disappointed.
I know my expectations were so low that I feared they could not ever get, I could never be disappointed, and yet here I am
It's just so
in the depths of my disappointment.
It's so upsetting because I want San Francisco to be good. I want Shanahan to shake the label off as a choker. But man, someone really doesn't want that. They want to make sure he doesn't even get a chance to go far in the playoffs. Because again,
Evidently, they need a new strength and conditioning coach or something.
evidently they need to get
Start giving those boys some protein.
they need to give some those boys something. They need to give those boys bubble wrap because they missed the glass right now. But we traveled from one California team to another California team that just had another big division victory. Chels, what do you think about them Chargers?
Yeah, Chargers Broncos was probably one of the biggest games of Sunday. Broncos looks like they had it in the bag, to be honest with you. Like halfway through the third quarter, it's looking pretty good. Fourth quarter, looking good, and then the Chargers started to score, and you could tell Broncos fans are starting to get nervous. But no, I mean the Chargers look like the favorites to win the division, and I was down on the Chargers. Daniel's not. He's shaking his head, and I know he's shaking his head because he's thinking I was right. Well, I was right about the Cowboys, Daniel. Okay, but yeah, no, the Chargers look good. I mean, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and they're going to get people back eventually. They're probably going to make some trades. I would not count the Chiefs out until we are certain that they are out. The Raiders aren't going to win the division. I thought the Broncos would rival for the division, but if they can't beat good teams like the Chargers and it's close losses, they may not. So I mean, at this point, Chargers have to be the favorites for the AFC West, which is kind of crazy. And I mean, they threw the ball 47 times and Herbert only had 28 completions. So, I mean, it's not like he lit the world on fire or anything. He took 5 sacks, which was one of the reasons I picked the Chargers to finish third in the division because Slater got hurt before the season even started.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be, Justin Herbert's security blanket. And Justin Herbert has had other very good offensive tackles get hurt his whole career. And that's why they haven't managed to have much success because he couldn't ever have time to throw the ball. But I guess I just underestimated them. They look good. I mean, they're 3-0. They took down a talented Broncos team. Quentin Johnston might not have as hard of stone hands this year. He can actually catch the ball this year. He still drops some, but he actually is catching the ball this year, which honestly is probably a big reason why they're having more success because he emerged and
Yeah.
is emerging as an actual solid 2-3 behind McConkey and now Allen, who's older. Omarion Hampton looks decent. He was a good pick for them.
They were
Herbert is putting himself back in the top 10 quarterback competition and conversation if he was not already there. He had an okay year last year. He's probably back in the top 10 with the way he started. But no, I'm surprised. I honestly did not think they were going to be this good. So I was wrong, I suppose. But no, they look good.
Well, again, the season's still young. We don't know what happened the rest of the year. Herbert definitely he is looking back like he did like his rookie season when everyone thought he was the biggest thing. Hampton, they're going to need Hampton a lot now because Najee's done for the season, which is unfortunate
Hmm.
as a former Steeler and just someone who doesn't like seeing people getting hurt. That Najee going down was just like, oh man, because you knew immediately
I
it's done.
always thought of Najee as like a mini Eddie Lacy. Like not nearly as much the shape of a bowling ball, but still a bowling ball. That's how I always viewed him.
No, Najee had talent. That's why I always held out hope for him at Pittsburgh because he definitely had talent. But I think they're probably just gonna stick with Hampton now. But in terms of you're talking about they might need to make a deal for a lineman or do something with the line, one team that definitely needs to make a deal for someone is them Cleveland Browns because I'm s- again, I think I said this last week that I respect the Ravens, I hate the Bengals, and I pity the Browns. Cleveland is a playoff team with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, with Daniel Jones as a quarterback, but any average quarterback, they're easily a playoff team. They lost week one because their kicker couldn't hit anything. Week two, I think week two, honestly, they just fell apart. They got the defense just got tired by like the end of the third quarter, and then Lamar and the Ravens just started throwing on them. And this week they beat the Packers. They beat the team that we thought was like the super team in the NFC. Their defense is top tier. At this point, Myles Garrett is playing like the best player on that side of the football. It's
Better than TJ Watt?
at this moment, well, yeah, at this moment, so far this year, yeah. Honestly, Watt had a
Wow.
great game this past week, but Watt has he's basically been invisible the first 2 weeks. Myles Garrett's been a wrecking ball this entire year, so I will give credit when credit's due. And I'm just like, man, this team is so good if they can just get the quarterback right, and they can't because they're starting 40-year-old Flacco, and then they have two unproven rookies on the bench.
But see, here's the thing. They don't even need to make a trade for a quarterback. They could just start one of the other three they have. You might as well. You were all dramatic and you took Dylan Gabriel above Shadur Sanders, and now you have Shadur Sanders. You might as well throw them out there. If they're even average, which is better than Joe Flacco, they really might make the playoffs. They should just risk it for the biscuit. That's my opinion.
Maybe it's just it's. I watch this team. I'm like, man, I feel bad for Cleveland fans because
Their defense is very
this
good.
this might be one of the most talented rosters that we know has no shot of doing anything.
It's
And
okay. This is how I felt when the Colts had like really good offensive talent around Andrew Luck, but no O-line. So we didn't ever go anywhere past like the first round of the playoffs. And I was like, if we could just get one 300-pound man, we would be relevant. But no, we can't do that.
well, speaking of O lines and quarterbacks that got hurt because of their O lines, we got ourselves the Bengals, and they're I'm going to put game in air quotes because that
Oh
was
dear.
that was just I feel bad for Browning because it's very clear that the defense just was just toying with him at a certain point.
Yes, they really were. And I will say, in defense of Jake Browning and the offense, really of Jake Browning, because the rest of the offense really doesn't have an excuse. Browning is a good backup. I think that
Yeah.
the Vikings defense might just actually be that good.
No, they are. They
That
definitely
they are very good.
Flores is
Um,
the coordinator and he knows what to do.
yeah. Um, if Browning continues to play like this, which they might not, if they get a weak part of their schedule, they might win and be fine. If he continues to play like this, keep an eye out for the Bengals to be looking for a quarterback at the trade deadline. I put two names on here. The first being Russell Wilson, because there are murmurings in New York, as I'm sure your siblings told you about, Daniel, that Jackson
Uh,
Dart is going to be starting for the Giants. And if that's the case, they'll just make Jameis the backup because they'll be able to get more for Russ. Or might I interest you in a nice Anthony Richardson?
I could see also Kirk Cousins. That's an also an
You put Anthony Richardson with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown, you might actually have some good things that happen. I mean, that's like the most talented offensive group outside of quarterback, probably in the league. So, but no, we're gonna have to definitely keep an eye on them because they really need Jake Browning and Chase Brown to pick it up. I think Chase Brown had 2 points this week in fantasy. He had like 12 carries for 5 yards or something. It was bad.
oh, I know one team that needs Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, or any decent receiver is the Kansas City Chiefs. And folks, I think before I compare the Chiefs to the '06 Patriots in terms of not having that much offensive time, relying on just know-how, we might actually not see the Chiefs in the playoffs, just looking at the schedule. I get it. They're getting Xavier Woody back at some point, and they're getting Rashid Wright, they're getting Rice back after suspension. The next three games before Rice comes back would be Baltimore, at Jacksonville, and Detroit.
Jack,
We can
Detroit's a win if you can outscore them, but they probably can't.
no
And
they
Baltimore's a no.
Baltimore's a no, Detroit's a no, and Jacksonville is
Gosh, they might be 2-4. Isn't that crazy?
like Jacksonville. They would be 3-0 if Brian Thomas could catch a football, but like this isn't like a situation where because they can still finish like 9-8, but just in terms of the way the schedule worked out, if the Broncos can get one of the wins in the division on them, because I think the Broncos are going to finish on 9-8, 10-7. I think you still have in the AFC North, you still have Pittsburgh and Baltimore will be fighting for that division, and who knows what and Cincinnati is still. I'm not going to count them out completely. Actually, I kind of am. Never mind. But then in the South, you got the Texans, not the Texans, and you got the Colts. Again, the Jacksonville. I'm not in love with them, but they should be 3-0. I don't think, and I think the AFC East, that's mostly just gonna be Buffalo and no one else. But it might just be a case where you don't have enough spots to put KC in there, and they gonna have to get. And their schedule does not get easier. They still have to face the Chargers again. They got two games against the Broncos. They gotta face Buffalo in Buffalo. They still have to face Washington, and this just could be a case where like, no, you're not gonna make the playoffs every year. They might just be fatigued.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. Speaking of a team that may make the playoffs that everyone wrote off but me,
You wrote them off too.
my number one headline this year, not this year, this week, shockingly, is not about Daniel Jones. It's about the Bears. All right, everyone said, I said last year the Bears are going to be good. The Bears were terrible, okay? But this year I said, no, this is the year. The Bears are going to be good, okay? They started out bad and everyone jumped off the ship, right? And I'm just still on the ship, guiding it through troubled waters, okay? And I'm watching Caleb Williams against the Cowboys, who, in defense of the Cowboys, their defense is probably one of the worst in the league. Caleb Williams looked amazing. He looked so good. That was by far the best game of his entire career. It's not even close. If Caleb Williams can play like that, the Bears are going to make the playoffs as a wild card.
If Caleb Williams have to play the Cowboys every week, the Bears are going to be a number one seed. I'm not
That's
even,
fair.
I'm not even gonna call them the Dallas Cowboys. They got no D. They're the Alice Cowboys. They're Alice. So
That's
no,
funny.
I want to. I'm happy Caleb has a good game. I think I said last week. I said no. I want to see how Caleb does against Dallas. I want to see potential. I saw a superstar, and so I'm like, okay, I have to see this
Yeah.
again to make sure.
But even if you look at his stats from the first 2 weeks, he's gradually made progression. His first week was
Yeah,
bad. His second week, he started hitting some passes. He started getting into rhythm. And this week, he looked amazing. Bro was 19 of 28 for 298 yards and four touchdowns.
Rome is legit. I'll say this: Rome is legit. Rome
Yeah,
is
no, Rome is for real.
that's going to be he's something. That receiving core with him, Loveland, Cole Kmet, and DJ. He has the talent. I just want
Hmm.
I just need to see against a team with an actual defense and not a
I
team.
need to see it more too, but he's got to start somewhere.
No, that's
And
fair.
for
That's
him to
fair.
start somewhere and put up this stat line, that was very impressive to me.
This was
Obviously, they need to continue that to become relevant, but I think Ben Johnson is a good coach. I think he's just in Chicago and he's now realizing Chicago is a dumpster fire and it might take more than one game to get him out of it. He plays the Raiders next. I feel
okay.
like he can beat the Raiders. Then he's at the Commanders. That'll be tough. And then he plays the Saints. He could beat the Saints. And then he plays the Ravens. That's probably a loss. And then he plays the Bengals with Jake Browning. That's probably a win. And then he plays the Giants after that. So that's like his next 6 weeks. I don't think it's impossible that they're at 500
No,
or
that's
a game above 500.
no
I'm
debate.
very interested because I said they'll make it as a 6 seed and no one believed me. So I'm very invested now.
The Cowboys, and that's a good reset for any young quarterback. And we will reset with you later this week. That's a good segue. I'm staying by the segue. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday. As you know, we are releasing 2 episodes a week now. We have our review of the previous week coming out on Tuesdays and our preview of the upcoming week on Thursdays. So we will see you again on Thursday. So check us out on our socials. In the meantime, we are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Launch Codes Football. We're also on Discord. If you want to join our Discord server, DM us on Instagram. We're on Twitter at Launch Codes FB. And we're on Twitch as well. Hopefully, we'll start doing some. I intend to stream some Madden soon. So we'll,
Can't
but
wait.
keep an eye out for the next episode on Thursday, guys. I'm Chelsea,
I'm Daniel,
and we will see ya on Thursday.
and happy fall, everyone.
Woohoo!